Hello, hello, and welcome to the Tantrum House Saturday morning board game show. I'm Will.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Amy Eggs. Katie. And Sarah.
And today we got a great lineup of games to show off to you guys. We got to start the hour though by just saying thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Just finished our Kickstarter. Thank you for helping us hit our goal and go above and beyond. We super appreciate you guys' support here on this show, and in all the different things that we got going on here at Tantrum House. We've got a big announcement for you guys that we're going to hold off on till the end of the show, but you might be able to guess what it is if you saw the YouTube graphic on the header of our page. But we got plenty to talk about there.
Not so secret.
That's super exciting. Yeah, a little like suspense. Like, don't go look right now. And they're going to go like see it works. It's working out. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. We always love to give a shout out to our sponsors before we even jump into the show, because without them we wouldn't have time to do this kind of thing. So we want to give a big thanks to the Op. We're gonna be spilling some BG Shield on some of their games at the end of this show. So those are our two sponsors for this episode, BG Shield. You can learn more about them at bgshield.com. They will help you party-proof your games. And then the Op, we all know the Op, all kinds of great games over there. So we're going to be looking forward to checking out some of their stuff. We've got, is there anything you guys are excited about showing off today on the show?
All of it.
All of it.
Yeah.
It's all exciting.
I can't pick favorites.
Can't pick favorites.
No.
I'm surrounded. I don't know what games, I don't even know what games are on the show today.
There's a list right there.
There's a list. Let's see, what looks interesting? Twilight Inscription, was that good?
You'll find out.
As will you. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. I think we're pretty much ready to jump into it. Kevin and Melissa are at the table ready to go. So let's get this show rolling.
Hello, we are at the table. We have a game called Get On Board. This is from Yellow. This is a route building game with a sort of a roll and write feel.
Flippin' right.
Ooh, flipping right.
So I believe it's a re-implementation of Let's Make a Bus Route.
Let's make a bus route.
Which was from a, I don't know, an Asian company.
Okay.
I forget which one.
Cool.
But it's been brought over to the US now as Get On Board. The board has two sides.
Yeah, this is
The London side is for 3 and 4 players, and the New York side is for 2 to 3 players,
Right.
and the London side is for 4 to 5 players.
4 to
That's
5.
what it says on the board, if I just read it.
Hey, that's what we're here for.
More coffee. That aids in reading. So basically, I don't know if we have a couple sheets that are already filled in from previous games.
You can sort of see them.
Yeah,
but they have different sections.
Right. So there's going to be cards that we're going to flip, and it's going to tell you...
What number is that?
11.
Mine can either go 2 straights or a straight and a turn.
But my sheet says an 11 is 3 straights. So the tops of the sheets that tell you what patterns you need to make when certain cards are flipped are going to be different for each player. So we have our little stop signs that are going to be starting somewhere, and we have to make the route from that space. And as you move, you're going to be collecting passengers that you are trying to get to certain destinations.
And those destinations are on the map as well, so you're picking up those passengers and dropping them off as you move through the city.
We're also going to have goal cards, which are kind of small, so you probably can't see them, but it tells us if we can get to 3 locations by the end of the game, we'll get points.
10 points.
So that gives you a goal that you're trying to reach. With those, there's lots of points on the sheets for getting people to the right places at the right time.
And if you start crossing over other people's routes, you get negative points.
Oh, yes. So we can eventually have our things be on the same, but it is going to potentially result in some negative points because we are creating traffic in the city.
Bad.
There are, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, a lot of interesting things. You also cannot have your route cross back over itself. If I, for some reason, did something like that, I would drop out and get no points because you can't create a loop. So you're looking at which cards are still left in the deck, what shapes are you gonna need to make, how many turns, because mine was I have to go 3 straight. Kevin had an option. He could either do 2 straight or 1 turn. There are some ways to mitigate that, but again, if you do that too often, you're going to get some negative points. So it's kind of thinking through what order do I want to go, how am I going to get to the certain places to get the points?
Yeah, another nice thing about this is there is a little bit of simultaneous play going on. So
Right. Like most kind of flip or roll and write.
as you are placing your markers out on your routes on the board, you're sort of all doing that at the same time and crossing your board off at the same time. So the game does progress pretty quickly, even for 4 or 5 players. So number of players really won't matter length of game.
Correct. Yeah.
So let's get on board from Yellow. That sounds interesting. You can check it out. I think we're going back to the couch.
Hello and welcome back to the couch. We are talking about 2 escape room card games from Grand Gamers Guilds. We have The Pumpkin Problem and The Birthday Burglary, and they're an escape room by Jonathan Schaefer. This is a whole series. There are 5 of them. They're all holiday themed, but what's really fun about these, we're gonna go ahead and open The Pumpkin Problem, is it just keeps opening. And you have all your little cards. That's it. It's only 18, 22 cards. The instructions are right inside the game. You use your QR code to open an app. And I would say this is one of the best apps for escape room games I have ever seen. What makes it really special is that in this information section, so say you have a code you have to break, and you don't remember Morse code or what are all the nautical signs of the flags.
Remember Morse code? I thought everybody just had to look that up.
Some people may, so it's all those kinds of things. You're like, I know what code this is, but I cannot remember how many dots and dashes go with which number or whatever.
Yeah.
They give you that information in the app.
Oh, nice.
So you can just look at, this is what Braille is, and you can figure it out. That's really cool.
You don't have to like go out and Google stuff.
No, but the only downside is you do need the app, which is browser based, in order to play the game.
Okay.
So you can't just play it if you don't have an internet connection.
Right.
The other really awesome thing about these games is their hint section. On some other escape room games, you just get stuck with hint 1 and it just tells you something. With these games, if you already know parts of it, it gives you specific questions and you can go to which answer you need and just skip over, I already figured that part out, I just need help on this section.
Yeah.
And that's really nice. One of the downsides, if you cannot visualize a 2D object into a 3D form in your head, there will be some puzzles that you may struggle with. That happened in both the pumpkin and the birthday one. There is a puzzle that you either have to fold something up in your head, and because they're cards, you can't physically manipulate them. You have to imagine it, and that can be hard for some people. I know my husband really struggled with that, and we just kind of, just give me the solution to that one. I know what I'm supposed to do, but I can't figure it out. I'm moving on. They took about 45 minutes to an hour when we played both of them. There's, I think there's a 4th of July themed one, a Christmas themed one, did I say Valentine's Day?
No,
I think it's the other one. So they're really neat. If you like unlock style games, this is the kind of thing you want. But I don't want to give spoilers because you should go out and play these. But they're fun themed, where the birthday one, the backs of the cards look like a blueprint.
Oh.
And then you have doors because you're going trick-or-treating.
You're going trick-or-treating. That makes sense.
And so it's really fun. But yeah, these are really fun little games. They'll fit in your purse. I would suggest that you have a piece of paper and a pen handy, and you definitely need the app to play this game. Are we ready at the table? All right, then we're going back to the table.
All right, we are looking at Twilight Inscription. This is the new roll and write version of the Twilight Imperium universe from Fantasy Flight Games. And this one, they have condensed the game down so everybody has 4
They condense it down to 4.
4 dry erase boards that you are working off of, and there's some big chunky dice that come
I really like the chunky dice.
I do too.
Yeah.
And one nice thing is they have this new rule book that is play as you learn. So there are, I don't remember how many,
there's a number of rounds in the game, and the first 4 rounds, you play through and teaches you how to do each board through.
I would say it did an okay job at it.
It did an okay job.
There was some iconography that we sort of were confused on as we were playing.
Which we could have just looked at the
but you would expect
iconography,
to explain
for as big a game this is. And how many things are going on?
Yeah.
It actually did an okay job of. And then you go back and you haven't even set the game up. You literally just pull these out, pull some cards out, and everybody has these really cool chalk markers that are orange.
Yeah.
Let me get this one. This one's one I haven't used yet. And so they dry. You can mark stuff. And this one you're following paths
so it's like a
to
neon
explore.
Sort of color on the dartboard.
Once it dries, it doesn't smudge, so you don't have to worry about. Some roll and writes the marker is a dry erase, not a wet erase. This one you need a little bit more friction to dry it. Or get it to come off. But each of the 4 boards has totally different things going on. So the navigation, you're exploring. The expansion, you're getting rows and columns
basically
to unlock
getting more
bonuses.
Plans.
Yeah.
Getting more plans.
Is everybody using the same board?
No. You all have your own
this is
board.
one person
This is
setup.
one person setup.
Okay.
Yep. The industry board, you're marking off things that are adjacent and trying to trigger getting resources.
Yep.
And then there's a warfare board, and this is the only board that you use to interact with other players. And this one, you mark off gaining troops, and then down here you would mark the configuration that those troops would be in. So I might mark something like this. I fill this in. And then these troops would attack who's ever on my left, and troops that I put in this space would attack who's ever on my right.
You see the line in the middle there.
Yeah, there's a line. There's a little dotted line down the middle. And then after that battle happens, you write, I've got 4 troops over here. I don't have any over here. So you may win or lose. And then this line comes up, and now we're deploying troops to the next section. So you can work ahead and place troops further out ahead, but you can.
There's a lot of chaining of rewards in this game.
There's a lot of chaining of rewards.
While you get stuff that will affect other boards, that will affect its own board, getting points along the way.
There's goals that you can set up, one for each, to get bonus points for completing certain things. Everybody is going to have
the character
that
it's
they
basically
will,
like a faction, right?
Yes, everyone's going to have a faction that'll give you bonuses, and these are all things, they look familiar to from the other Imperium games.
Yeah, I will say I played part of a game. I haven't played a full game, and each round you are personally deciding which of the boards you want to activate. So for me, I was a little slow deciding, because it's like, I can use these resources. Do I want to use them on expansion? Do I want to use them on navigation? Do I want to use them on industry or warfare? So it was a lot of things to try to quickly compute in my little feeble mind.
All right, Sarah, this or Hadrian's Wall?
Okay, so I'm actually going to have a video come out where I'll talk about the 2 of them. So there are some actual similarities that, because they're both larger roll and write style games, there are a lot of things that overlap as far as gameplay goes, but there are a lot of differences too. So I'm gonna have a video probably coming out this next week or so. We'll see if we'll get to edit it while we're in Essen on the plane flight. So yeah, we'll talk about that on the video. But the one thing, like Melissa said, so every round a new event card comes out, and some of them are specific things that everybody has to do, or you have to do. There's some council members where you vote for certain things to happen. There's a production phase that comes up. But then there's also ones, just choose whichever sheet you'd like. We'll roll the dice. Everybody's using those same dice, and then use your resources how you'd like. So, yeah. It was a little easier, I think, to learn than Hadrian's Wall because it had that little cheat sheet thing at the beginning. But as far as gameplay goes, I think it goes pretty deep like Hadrian's Wall in that there's a lot of stuff to unlock.
Yep.
A lot of stuff. We barely scratched the surface on getting bonuses and trying to chain things. So looking forward to getting another several plays in of this one. So we are heading back to the couch, looking at
A game from Grand Gamers Guild.
I think we're already on the couch. Here we go. Yeah, this is Aldabas, the Doors of Carthagena.
Cartagena?
How would you say that at all? I felt like I knew how to say it until I started saying the word and it did not come out. I played an early prototype of this one, and I have to say this art is fantastic. And it's upgraded to the next level. I have not played the finished version.
Okay.
Tell us about it.
So this is a game about door knockers. So don't get too excited out there.
Maybe people are really thrilled about door knockers.
Sorry.
It could be like a whole thing.
No,
I'm sure there's a subculture of people, just like board gamers, who love.
Send us pictures of your door knockers.
Yeah. No offense to the door knocker collectors out there. But you're trying to collect different doorknobs here in your little tableau. You start with this card here. We already have it set up kind of for later in the game, but you start with this little safe here, and then you're building your tableau out from the safe. So on your turn, basically, you can do one of three things. You can either collect more coins, so these are coins here. You can collect coins. You can buy cards from the market up at the top
using those same coins.
Yeah,
Are
the
these
first two are free.
Oh,
Yeah,
very nice.
the first two are free. If you want the other ones, they cost more. Or you can play a card into your tableau. Tricky part is playing the cards into your tableau. There are some restrictions. So you start with this safe. You have to build. How to explain this? Not confusingly.
From the bottom left out.
Yeah, you have to from the bottom left out. So there can't be any cards that are to the right of the card you build or on top of the card.
Down due to camera and stuff. Isn't it the bottom right of the card? Where
Bottom
are we
left.
sitting as the player?
We're sitting here.
So bottom right.
The bottom left. Left. No, it's not.
This is the bottom right?
As the people are looking at it in the camera, it is the bottom left.
We're gonna go with yes. Okay.
So when you're placing these cards, you have to place the cards basically like this here. So if I place that card, it would have to go here. I couldn't place it here because there's no card underneath. I think we're
You're listening to Larry.
right and
Everyone's
left
listening to
here.
Larry. Good, we're focused.
You also can't play a card. I don't know how you would play it with something not on the right, but it has to be played this way. You also can't play same colors next to each other, so you can't put two red or two blue, whatever colors. And they all have different abilities or powers on
At
them.
the bottom here.
Yeah, some let you get money, some let you put coins in your safe, some let you put cards in your safe.
Is there anything under your safe?
There can be
Is it
eventually.
Like a cheat sheet, though? I mean, like, what? I visually want to know. Oh,
It just tells you what you can do.
That's a lot of end game points.
Yeah,
as well.
it just tells you what the things do. And also when you place your card here, you do the action of the card and you do the action of the two cards that are touching it. So that kind of planning that out
You
kind of
can
helps you
combo
out.
them.
Yeah, getting the combos really helps you out. And ultimately, you're trying to get the most coins. Some of the cards give you coins. Having the largest set in every color. I believe there's
colors up here.
4 colors. Yeah, the suits. It's not the door colors. The door colors have to do with placement. The suit colors are on the top left here. These symbols. So that can be a little tricky. Oh my goodness. Somebody help.
1 to 4 players.
Anybody have
A
it?
pretty quick game, like 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long. Depending how long people think.
And
Or if they
depending on-
can't decide which is right or left, then it might take
That's laid out every time. And then you're going to get a kind of different experience every time you play it because the way these cards come out and the coins that you actually have collected so far.
And the deck is pretty large,
It
so
Yeah.
there's a lot
quite
of
few cards.
cards. You do call the deck, I think, based on the amount of players you play with. But it is like you said, the art is pretty cool.
Yeah,
It's pretty easy game to
Come
get
on,
going, but there is a lot of variability because of the different cards.
Right, and it's
stuff.
nice because their first turn is literally just pick a card and add it, and then you're
Yeah.
responding and growing from there.
Yeah,
So it gets
turn
more
play is
difficult,
pretty quick.
right, the more you go, because there's more to think about. which is nice because you got a kind of an easy learning curve to
Right.
get into it.
And the game ends when either the deck runs out, somebody fills up a 4x3 here, so the most you can have is 4x3.
Yeah.
Or if I think there might have been something else, but I don't remember.
Maybe
If you get 1,000,000 points.
Yeah, if you have 1,000,000 points, then you immediately win.
Yeah.
So,
As you should. Excellent. All right, we'll check out Aldabas Doors of Cartagena.
Cartographers.
Right,
No.
that's what it should be. At the Garen Gamers Guild website, and then I think we're ready to head back to the table. And my seat has been stolen. I was gonna go to the table, but
You're welcome. You can still come over.
oh, okay, all right.
He wanted to
Let's
go
that
home.
way. Here we go.
Bring your own chair.
Yeah, or stand behind us. So today we're talking about E.T. the Extraterrestrial Light Years from Home game from Funko Games. It is a cooperative adventure game by Prospero Hall. It's for 2 to 4 players and can be played in a half hour. That's like the really awesome thing. So it's the shortest cooperative game that I've
I was gonna say half
ever-
hour. That is really
ever
fast.
known. You are playing as the 4 kids from the classic movie, and you are trying to. Are you? Yes.
Glow effect.
You are playing as the kids from the classic movie, and you are trying to race around the neighborhood collecting goods that are color coded. They're very cool plastic pieces.
Do we attach to each other?
You can attach to each other and take people with you, but you will have to roll an extra danger die if you have people with you because you're making more noise together. You are trying to go around the board collecting different items that are color-coded, dropping them off on the spaces that have the cubes so that you can create the phone home cubes.
Oh.
Once you have created them, you need 4 items of the same color. There are some wild ones. And ET needs to be in one of the 4 spaces. You've created that die, and at the end of every player's turn, you'll then roll that die, and if it lands on a phone symbol, the mothership will move 1 space closer. You are trying to get the mothership all the way to the forest clearing
Sense.
and have ET in one of the 4 spots. But we have people
it's like
thwarting
rubbery.
us. Yeah, it's a really cool miniature. So each of the players has an assigned cop chasing them that are also color-coded.
Okay, hold on, pause. I have
Yes.
a piece of ET trivia. Do you know this? In the original ET, there's several scenes where the cops are like trying to barricade them from getting there.
Yes.
In the original 1980-something film, all the cops have guns. And they're like gonna shoot these kids on sight.
They're going to shoot
If
children?
you watch it now, it has been remastered. So they're all
Interesting.
holding like baton things. It is interesting.
Wow.
So, and
It was
then
a wilder time in the 80s.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
We do have an FBI agent, Agent Keys. His symbol is a key, and he is trying to chase ET. So how a turn works. You can take any 3 basic actions, which is either moving to a spot, one of the white dots. The kids get to use shortcuts, which is the red squiggly lines. You can take a piece of candy from the supply. We do have Reese's Pieces.
I was gonna say this is not gonna be complete without some.
We do
Reese's
have some
Pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
That's hilarious.
They are generic.
I think I'd probably use
Flip that
real
back.
Reese's Pieces
To
and
really play?
and then
you'll
eat them
eat 'em.
at the end of the
Yeah,
game.
good play.
But will they last the game that way?
Well, maybe I'd have my own stash.
So
somewhere,
you
too.
use the pieces to move ET separately from yourself, or you can pick up one of the face down items, and each player can hold 2, and each kid has a special ability.
Hanger.
a coat
If-
Are these useful?
Yes, if you
9-volt?
happen to have ET in your basket, you can use one of the special ET powers.
Ooh, like flying, taking flight.
Taking flight, which is move to any space that does not contain enemies.
Any space.
Any space.
That's cool.
There is a number of free actions you can do, unlimited. That includes dropping off the item, any items you have in a space, using ET's power, teaming up where they actually connect, and you can drag
saw
a
that,
player
yeah.
with you if you want. At the end of your turn, if there are any of these colored cubes in the clearing, you're going to roll them. You want to get all of them so that you can have more chances to roll and get a phone symbol. And then after that, you have to roll the danger die.
Uh-oh.
The danger die. If you have passed through a space with an enemy or are still hooked together, or you have ET, you have to roll a extra die.
Oh.
And the symbols are on these, so the siren things with the letters, those are different cop cars.
Oh yeah.
And the cop cars
So
are
they move.
moving one space, and they are all heading towards the clearing. You have the die with the question mark would be whichever if it's a question mark, all of the cop cars would move.
Oh no.
If it's an exclamation point, I believe it is all of the cops would move one space closer to whichever color they are assigned to. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't have a symbol in it, it would just be the one that's assigned to you would move 2 spaces closer to you. Mm-hmm. And how you can lose is if all of the cop cars are surrounding the spaces of the wilderness clearing, you would lose. If ET's light, what is his inner light has gone down to 0.
His little glowing chest.
And you lose light if you are captured. If you are captured by the police officer or the cop car, which means they've landed in your space, you have to go back to the starting space. You drop all of your items.
Terrible.
ET loses a life force point.
Life force.
And then you have to start again.
How do you get life force back? Eating Reese's?
You do not get them at all. So this is why it's a fast game.
Yeah.
I would say the one frustration I had when I played this was we got everything done really quickly.
Yeah.
And then we spent like 8 turns just trying to get enough phone symbols to get the mothership into the clear.
Phoning home was a big part of the movie.
It was a big part of the movie.
I'll admit though, this movie scared me to death when I was a kid.
Age range. So it says 10 and above.
Yeah. 2 to 4
think
players, 10 and above.
It does say 10. I think you could probably go a little lower than that depending on your children. This is very much an intro to cooperative gameplay. It's very lighthearted.
Most co-op games, you can help people get through their decisions and
Yes,
stuff.
you could help them get there.
Yeah.
You are playing cooperatively, but it's really fun. If you like the theme, if you like ET, if you want to introduce your younger ones.
Who else had ET bed sheets when they were growing up? Am I the oldest
No,
one?
I would have been horribly terrified of that.
Scary.
And
Yeah,
horror movie?
Amy and I are both
How do you
like
classify
horror
it?
movie.
ET, was
So
it?
yes,
Classic horror movie of our childhood.
you should tell us in the comments. Were you a Gertie, Greg, Michael, or Elliot fan? And then I think
Elliot.
we are ready to go back to the couch.
Hello? Are we at the couch? I thought you were starting and saying hi.
Oh, no, I said you're starting. And you commented, like, okay.
We're looking at a super skill pinball game from WizKids. There are several boxes. This is the Star Trek box. So, Best of Star Trek, are you still watching? This is a Star Trek themed game. Kevin's.
And he had ET sheets, so good job.
Oh, wow. All of the fandoms. Kevin's going to give a very quick overview of just the super skill pinball, how it works, and then I'll talk about the 4 different tables that come into this game.
Right, because there's already 2 different standalone games that have the pinball sort of mechanic in it. Basically, on a given round, someone's going to roll the dice. You're going to get 2 numbers. You're going to choose on your board, your table, your pinball table, one of those 2 numbers to use. So you're going to start at the top at the beginning of the game. So I could choose the 5 or the 3, and I don't have a pen, but I would mark off one of that number, and then the dice would roll again, and then I continue to move down, sort of like in a pinball game. You're going to keep moving down the table, crossing things off, and getting points. So I would cross the 5, the dice would roll again, and hopefully I get a good number here. This one, of course, I could, if I plan it right, I could go around in a circle, sort of like the bumpers. And then I continue to go down to the side of the table, crossing off things, and then go to the very bottom where you have your flippers, hopefully getting the right numbers, then flip it back up to the table. You're getting bonuses along the way, you're getting powers, and able to get lots and lots of points. That is the brief
Very brief, yes.
overview.
So, the Star Trek tables. There are 4 of them in the box. Starfleet Academy is your easy entry level
Yep.
game,
This one right here.
doesn't have a whole lot of extra rules for it. It's very similar to the Carnival one from the base game.
Yep.
So it's a good one to start off on. Starfleet Academy makes sense.
Yep. Now we have
The Trouble with Tribbles. So this one is very interesting because during the game you can collect tribbles, and if you get too many tribbles you're going to get some penalties, but at certain amounts of tribbles you can get a ton of points. So throughout the game there are actions that are going to let you increase the number of tribbles you get or decrease the number of tribbles. And you can kind of see the little fuzzy little tribble symbols on the boards. There's also an action that lets you erase some of your tribbles and give them to other players.
No!
So redistributing the tribbles to other people. So that's Trouble with Tribbles. Next we have Lower Decks. Now I have not watched this series of Star Trek yet. It's a newer cartoon, but this one is unique because there are flippers at the top of the board and flippers at the bottom, and as your points increase you're going to be actually flipping the orientation of your table, and that will let you hit different types of targets and hopefully help you keep the ball from draining and going down.
Yeah, I find that really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And you can unlock characters for special actions and powers. The last one, this one is advanced. So the tribbles and the lower decks were medium complexity. Borg attack is advanced complexity.
A lot going on in this one.
So in a normal game, you're going to have 3 rounds. So your ball can drain 3 times during the game. Well, the first 2 rounds of this one, you're actually...
Oh, you're up here?
Well, you play up here in the 3rd round,
Woo!
but you're gaining ships and shields and,
Oh, that's cool.
and stuff. And then round 3, you don't play on this board at all.
Okay.
The Borg actually attack. And depending on how well you prepared for round 3, that's going to determine your
'cause
attack
this,
with
like,
the Borg.
For instance, the Starfleet Academy, all you're doing is really counting up points for the top board. And there's a whole other game going on
Yes,
this one.
there's another kind of game going on where the Borg are going to attack you during round 3.
I think my favorite one is going to be Trouble with Tribbles.
I think the kind of doing the resource management, I guess, with the tribbles is going to be
Any questions from
interesting.
people?
Yep, I'm looking.
Best of Star Trek, what's your question?
Oh, that's funny. Can I avoid tilt by adjusting inertial dampeners?
Maybe.
Unfortunately not, but you can tilt in this game because you can nudge balls and things like that. David M. enjoys super skill pinball.
Yep.
I don't think there's any saucer separation in this one. I don't think there wasn't any. Oh, well, I guess Borg is next generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is super skill pinball. It plays 1 to 4. I think it plays just as well solo as with other people because it's pretty much
Except for Tribbles.
Oh, because you can send it to other people. Yeah.
That'd probably be
So-
the one board. But other than
Yeah,
that.
it's pretty much a multiplayer solitaire game because you're doing your own thing on the rolls.
There we go.
All right, I think we are going back to the table.
All right, I think we're back. Maybe. We're getting ready for Wildstyle.
Woohoo!
Oh yeah,
I've
it's a
always-
little crazy.
I've always wanted to be wild.
Have you always wanted to be a graffiti artist?
Absolutely. It was my dream as a child.
Oh yeah?
No.
I'm terrible at graffiti or drawing or any kind of art.
I only imagined myself as one.
This is a
Real time.
real time everybody's playing at the same time game where you're trying to collect sets. So you're trying to collect sets of cards in order to graffiti different parts of the city.
Ooh.
So you start off with 3 cards and you have your player board here. You're allowed to start 2 different sets here.
Okay.
So when you play a card in your board, the next card you play on that same one has to be the same symbol. So I could play a downtown on it. And I'm trying to get 3. Because once I get 3, I'm going to turn in the 3, get my graffiti, and graffiti something.
Graffiti a downtown.
A downtown symbol.
Okay.
Right. So I can have up to 2 symbols going at the same time. If you don't have those symbols currently in your hand, you can discard cards into the discard.
Okay.
and there's 4 spaces for us to discard. The only rule is if you discard on another card, you have to discard the same symbol or the same color on top of here. So you can't just throw any card willy-nilly on top of another card.
Will we be able to pick the discarded cards up?
You can.
Okay.
So one of the things you can do is either play on your board, discard cards, or you can draw. You can draw from blind from the stack, or you can draw the top card
Just the
from
top
the
card.
discard. Yeah, you
Got
can't. You can't go through.
Excellent.
So yes, the goal every round, everybody starts with 6 graffiti tokens, and you're trying to graffiti as many places as you can. There are some endgame goals which we won't go over because nobody knows what they are at the moment. But you do want to get your graffiti together.
Okay, leave your mark on the city. Got it.
Yeah, because you want your marks to be together. If you have solo marks, they go away.
That's fun. Okay.
So you don't want them to be all by themselves. There's also one
Got
more
it.
thing. Cop cards.
Of course.
So if you're stuck and you can't fulfill your set and you're like, I can't draw anymore, there's nothing I can do, you can get a cop card and finish a set. Just automatically finish a set.
Doesn't matter if you have 1 card or 2 cards.
No,
Just
you just finish the
it.
set and you put it out and you can clear and kind of reset your hand. The only thing is at the end of the round, you have to remove a token for every cop card
from the board.
From the board.
Oh, that's bad.
So that could be bad. So
Okay.
we're gonna try it real quick.
Absolutely.
We'll see how it
We got
goes. This could be a disaster.
Confidence.
But
Confidence.
we can go.
It's gonna be great.
Ready, go.
So I pick down 1, pick up another.
Oh.
You got 3? Ooh, I got 3
Down two,
downtown.
Go there.
Yeah, downtown. Downtown.
Gotta see what
Hello,
symbols
where's
are near
downtown?
each other.
I'm going
Wow.
downtown here.
What's
Somebody
near,
discard stuff. Come on.
I
It's
don't.
nothing good to
Wow.
discard.
have
Okay,
that
I
one.
swear I'm not cheating.
Ooh, a
You
shopping
are
cart.
cheating. Train station. I want a train.
Ooh.
Ooh, I got a train station.
Gotta put another one there.
Also, you only can have a max of 3 cards in your
Got
hand
it.
at a time.
Park. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute. What is going
I don't know
on?
what I'm doing.
She is great. I am so glad
Oh
I
my
asked
goodness.
Just put tokens out, Hannah.
Hey, look.
Apparently I did.
have 3 train
I have.
stations.
Don't worry. I've got some.
This is
There's
great.
another one who wants
Residential.
I'm going
wow,
train
you got
everywhere.
2 residential.
Yeah, here, would you like a couple more of
Oh,
yay! I've got 3 finally.
Oh, I can't draw.
I was just shanghaied into
I need a
this.
real-
I can't draw that one because I already have 3 cards.
Where's
Yeah, cheating.
Where's one near shopping
Residential.
cart?
1 minute.
There's one near shopping.
I'll put it one here.
I don't know. This
Shopping.
one.
Train station.
And
Train
I'll take
station.
that one.
Hannah's taking her time
And
to
a
do
shopping
graffiti.
cart.
Doing very,
And
yeah.
I'm going to. I am careful and confident in my
I'm going
ability
to discard
to.
that.
Ooh, industrial! How exciting!
I'm taking a cop
And
car.
I've got a 3.
Cop car.
3
You're
for
gonna
a-
lose.
Where am I going?
Where's
Rail.
that one?
Where's the
I'm on
train
railway
station?
here.
Where is?
You
I
can-
am nowhere near that.
One more thing, you can also put another token on train stations. There
Okay.
can be more than one at the train
They're
station.
residential.
Okay.
It's the only
Somebody wanna
place.
give me a
Another shopping cart.
10 seconds.
Oh,
Shopping.
I would
Downtown.
like.
Park. I can put a park
I've
there.
got to give me a train station, somebody.
I don't like it.
There we go.
Oh, train station. There's another
Railway.
train station.
That is a railway. I don't
So
know.
it isn't so.
I don't know.
Industrial. I don't have enough.
Where's a strip? Where's a?
Cop car? No. I'm taking a cop car.
What are you saying? You're saying. Are we done? I have no cards.
2 and 3/4.
You can keep on drawing.
What am I drawing? There's no.
Alright, what
Oh,
happened
you
there?
ran out of cards?
I don't have cards.
So once somebody does all their tokens, everybody
Oh,
else
yeah, I did
can,
tokens.
everybody else can continue to play
Okay.
until they can't play anymore. You can't start any new piles, but whatever you have started, you can continue playing until there's no more moves for you. Like you can't discard or you can't draw or you finish the 2 that you have done.
Okay.
So you can't keep on going, but you can kind of keep on going.
So wait.
So,
How
yeah.
did we do?
So this is not terrible.
So I'm assuming
So
this
we
one
would-
goes away.
Yeah, that one would go away. Amy would have to take off 3 tokens for her cop cards. I would take off.
blue ones.
I would take off 1. No, it has to be her own.
I'll just take away all.
Yes.
Rude.
But yeah, and then there's different scores based on I think the different tiles you have or the biggest
Oh, wait, no.
grouping of your tiles. And then there's obviously the end game scoring here. These tiles they change up
So-
every round.
So you're telling me I
Or not
have the
every round, but
largest
every
grouping
game.
now?
You do have a large
That's
grouping.
right.
Nice.
Hannah.
Look at me pulling it off.
Our
Yeah.
residential graffiti
graffiti art.
And then you get
That's me.
6 more tokens, and you keep on going for 3 rounds.
Perfect.
So that's
That was
graffiti
delightful chaos.
in
Wildstyle.
Wildstyle.
I
By
definitely
Pandasaurus.
felt wild.
It can get a little crazy, especially when you see the other person has only 1 token left, and you're like, "What am I doing?"
I was not paying attention to you at all. I had no clue what you were doing. It's fine, my own
I
game.
was just paying attention to your discard pile. I'm like, oh, I'll take that.
Cheating.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
I'll take that one too. You got anything else for me?
Yes, but you
Oh
had
my
negative
goodness.
points, so it's fine.
So yeah, Wildstyle by Pandasaurus. Heading back to the couch with Will and Melissa.
I'm
Hello,
joining.
and
Yeah,
Hannah's
come on
coming over. We're talking about some exit games. Now, Hannah and I have played these. Will, you have not
I'm
played
not.
these
I'm just here for
specific
the
ones.
accidental cheating. That's really what
Oh.
I'm here for. That's the.
Yeah, they were definitely talking about accidental cheating with the last
Could be happening
games.
over there. It looks like my type of game.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and no one's paying attention to you, so you can get away with it.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Watch the slow-mo replay.
Oh no, please don't.
Yeah, see, so Larry did not invite Will to play that. Mm. So, we're talking about first Exit the Lord of the Rings. So, this is the IP of Lord of the Rings. It is a level 2 out of 5.
Too easy.
So, it is.
Can it begin though?
No.
Oh.
So you're playing as hobbits, but not the hobbits from Lord of the Rings. Basically, we've been tasked to try to help the people who are on the big mission.
We're stuck
You're
in
the
Shire.
behind the scenes hobbits.
So without going into spoilers, like we are basically following the same path that they took. Sometimes a little bit before, sometimes a little after, and we are doing things hopefully to help them out.
Yes.
There may be a Balrog
Is this
involved.
illustrated by
Yes.
Nico?
I would like you to know that we may or may not have destroyed a bridge.
Is one of them Fatty Bulger?
They're not named.
Yes.
It's just other hobbits.
You can name them yourself.
But yeah, I would say at level 2, this might be a fairly good introductory
Yes.
one, especially if you enjoy the IP of Lord of the Rings. I think there was one puzzle that we had a little bit of trouble with and we kind of knew what we needed to do, but sometimes with the exits, actual like doing it, because there's folding and cutting and all sorts of things,
If
was
they're not-
a little tricky.
If those folds are not accurate, you can point to the wrong
Feel
number.
like you messed up the puzzle. And,
Yeah.
you're like, I think it's pointing at that.
But that's the best part about exit games is destroying everything.
You gotta be on board for that.
We may have
Yes.
some tape
I saw the
and
back
stuff
page was a little
there.
getting taped back on.
I might have had to fold things and then retape it back on.
You gotta do what you gotta
But
do.
yeah, so normally exits are not really replayable unless you really go out of your way to try to not store things, because they are intended to be cut and folded and all sorts of other things happening to them. So that is Lord of the Rings,
Coralie
Shadows
has
over
obviously
Middle
played
Earth.
these games before. She said you really have to think on the box, which
Yes.
is true.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
accurate.
Have you played The Sunken Treasure?
Yes,
has.
I think so.
Was it this week? I played the Fairy Tale Forest one.
Oh,
I
that
played
one
that
is
one.
That's
weird.
the one I played
Is that the
this
one
week.
with
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, that is correct.
The craziest ending ever.
We did not get that you had to put the
I don't know how you
paper
could.
upright.
I don't know how you could get that.
But yes. Oh, and that's one. I think I have
So
another one.
we'll
Where are you
put
looking?
this. So I think this is the third of the puzzle versions.
Mhm.
So it's exit meets actual physical puzzles that you're putting together. Nightfall Manor is also a level 2. I felt this one was
I thought it was
not too difficult.
No.
And we just kind of threw the stuff back in there, but there are 4 bags of puzzles. And throughout the thing, you are going to be putting puzzles together and then using what you see on the puzzle to help solve the whatever thing is going on there. Sometimes you
haven't
have to
played it.
remove puzzle
So
pieces.
this isn't an intentional
or,
spoiler.
Yes.
Is it like two-sided? It's gotta be, right?
On some things it
Gotta
may be.
Gotta be.
There-
Good,
On
look out.
some things it may not be.
there may be things printed on the other sides of some of the puzzles, but
If they did,
that I
was a
figured
missed
out.
Opportunity. Good job.
And I
That's
figured
like-
out.
If you didn't, that's a missed opportunity. If you
But
didn't.
yeah, the puzzles, they're going to be a little longer,
Mhm.
so maybe closer to 2 hours, 3
Yeah.
hours. than the little boxes that are usually just 1 hour. But I feel like they keep you engaged because you are putting a puzzle together and you're solving the clues.
Yeah.
So it kind of combines several hobbies.
You can
there.
take a break easier with these. Like, we're putting a puzzle together. Okay, we need to put another one. We're going to take a break now and come back to it.
Go to the party.
They're a little easier to do. But I know Jonah likes the puzzle exits better than the regular ones. Which ones do you like better?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Ooh, I like both. There are definitely
Surprise.
yeah.
Surprise! That is
I
my
will not
answer.
pick a. I don't pick favorites. There are a ton more of the box games and a lot more themes.
Right, variety.
There's different levels. Like both of these are level 2, so they're a little bit more on the easier side. Some of the boxes go all the way up to like 5 expert and are like, wow.
Are those similar time frames, you think, or does the puzzle take longer just because it's physically puzzles?
It's a longer story because
Yes.
there are 4 puzzles usually that you're going through.
Right.
So it does just take longer to put the puzzle together than to figure out what you need to do. This one says
1 to 2 hours. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So they do let you know up front.
Yeah.
So the difficulty is not necessarily based on how long it's going to take you. It's just the complexity of those figuring out those puzzles.
Yes. But yeah, I felt that both of these were not simple, but not like super frustrating.
Yeah.
We did have to look up a few things. Are we on the right track? Yes, we are. Oh, we're not on the right track. Let's
But that's
rethink about this.
Anything with an escape room, you have to go in the mindset. There are hints, and you should use them. Do not feel like you have failed if you use hints. They are there to be used.
Right. Yep. For
But
sure.
do you
I
have a
actually
favorite?
I have not done any puzzles.
You haven't done any puzzle
I've done probably
ones?
like maybe a dozen of the exit ones, but I've not done any of the puzzles yet. So
Exit games are.
just leave that here.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, there may be some things that are already
Figured out that'll be great. That's the
cut
problem. I got
and folded.
2 to 3 hours to take for an hour break.
That would be fantastic.
And you're probably gonna want someone, maybe one of your kids, to take apart all the puzzles and then resort them. They do have symbols on the back, like.
Okay. So replayable, but you gotta have somebody.
And you have to be okay with torn and you may have to repiece things. You don't get to cut or tear anything
usually
yourself or fold.
replayability is not high on the Xbox.
Yeah, I would say that the puzzles. I've done all 3 of them, and they all have at least one puzzle
Destructible.
where you've cut things, taped things, folded things. So the next person
I thought you
has
meant puzzle
a.
pieces, which maybe you do. Interesting.
And like all exit games, beware of the box.
Right. Oh, for sure. Let
Do
me just go ahead
not
and
put
study
the
it real
box
quick.
away from you while you're playing. But yeah, exit games are my favorite of the escape room ones. They're my number 2 of all time. Like exit, absolutely 100%.
I have not tried the advent calendar yet. Exit has an advent calendar, and I guess each day
Sounds
it
like
has
the
a little
perfect
I
mini
think
puzzle.
it would be an excellent TikTok 12 Days of Christmas thing that we should do, but that's just me.
So maybe you should bring one back from Essen.
I like it.
That would be
I
an
like
idea.
It. See what we can do. All right.
All right, we're going
Keep an
back
eye
to
out.
the table.
Hello! Katie's joining me here. We're talking about Gloom. This is an older game that has come with new content.
Yes. I was just say, I was trying to think of the first time I'd played Gloom, and it was before Tantrum House was a thing.
Pre-Tantrum House.
Yeah, I was trying to think, I was like, wow, this is going to be like 10 or 15 years ago.
If you're not familiar with Gloom, you have a family that you're trying to kill.
Yes. It's like an Addams family.
Friendly show.
This is like an Addams family theme where they're kind of they're creepy families and they want to die unhappy.
Unhappy. Gloom, hence the name. Gloom.
Yes, Gloom.
But you mentioned the transparent cards.
Yeah, so the cards in this are really interesting because they're transparent and you add modifiers to your characters and they may cover up other modifiers that are already there, but when you lay them down, you can still see your original cards, which is really interesting. It was the first time I'd ever seen cards like this, where they stack up.
Yep.
And that's just a really neat part of
Card
this game.
crafting has come a long way with a lot of other games now, like Mystic Vale and Dead Reckoning and things, but this was, I think, like Katie said, like the first version of that, which I find pretty cool. So the new content, we have Gloomier. which is basically has new characters, and the nice thing about Gloomier is that you can make your own family.
Yes.
Whereas in the original game, you had a family, and it was sort of the same four.
Yeah, everybody got their own families,
But
and you
this
had
one
to
you can
deal
create
with
your own family, which is kind of fun that you can put together. And then the other thing in this game, Gloomier Box, is that they have event cards that do things. Like we have a plot twist. This is like lets you draw cards and move things around. There's a midnight surprise. Do you have any event cards? No.
I have no event
But they're
cards in my hand.
basically easily found because they're red. So.
Is there a stepmother card?
Oh, in this one, I think there might have been in the other one, but no. Like mine is a debutante, a baron, an oil baron, a diva, and a criminal. There's
Yeah.
this, we have twins.
I have eerie twins, an eccentric scientist, a grand dame, and her what does this say? Her butler. Who's been
Beleaguered. A
beleaguered.
beleaguered butler.
Beleaguered butler.
We got sleuths, explorers, poets, lots of fun things out there. So you're trying to make your character go negative points, but you can. There's also positive points in the game, and then you're basically putting them on other people's families throughout the game.
You're trying to make other people's family happy, but you're trying to make your family sad. And they're fun things that you can tell stories with, like this is like a net of like negative 25.
Right.
And it was that you were seen in the cemetery.
Ooh. Yeah.
And then it's got some extra special things that you can do at the bottom of the card. And it's really interesting. This game can also be played in conjunction with the other Gloom versions.
Yep, we have another.
There's a way for it to be combined with those.
The other thing with Gloomier is that characters that aren't in the game, I think there's one or two that get put into your game that's basically the other side, and they sort of start traveling around to other families, and you're trying to kill those people as well.
Yeah.
We have
so
another comment.
The game ends when a family has been completely killed off, and then the saddest family, which would be the one with the most or the least points, the one with the least amount of points would win the game.
Right.
So you're trying to always add negative points to yourself and positive points to your other families.
So the other thing, the Gloomier, there's another content called the Gloom Chronicles. This adds scenarios to the game. And that we played the other day, trapped on a train, so it creates a sort of world that you're in for the story that you can sort of make up as you're, doing bad things to your characters or doing good things to other characters. But they also have special rules on them. This one tells you when the game ends instead of a family dying. This is when the deck runs out. So it makes the games different from game to game. Lots of different scenarios.
You can't see. I don't know if you can see, but it's like holographic.
Oh, you can totally see. Look at that.
Can.
Oh.
It's a holographic on here, and that's really neat.
Yeah. So we don't want to spoil too much, but there's lots of different. There's a whole deck of scenarios that you can add to your game for Gloom.
Right. And these are just the characters to play with. We had them out so you could see. You don't normally play with the characters out here in the middle like this, but. Yeah, so that was Gloomier and the other expansion, what is called
The
Gloom Chronicles. So check that out. Back over to the couch.
Hello everybody! So I'm going to just really quickly be talking about a couple expansions to games. Okay. And the first one is the Goonies Never Say Die. This is a one versus many game from Funko Games. So you have one player who is playing as the GM, the Goondocks master. And the other players are the kids from the Goonies.
Perfect.
And you're kind of going through different scenarios in the movie, like trying to find the wishing well, or obviously to get One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
Okay.
So that's the base game. The expansion is Under the Goondocks, and it is bringing in the 3 teenager characters because they are not player characters in the base game.
Okay.
So you have Brand, Andy, and Steph, and then it's bringing in Troy Perkins as one of the bad guys.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with Goonies, Troy is kind of, his dad's the one who's trying to destroy the Goondocks and put up like a resort or something instead.
So obviously the bad guy.
Right.
Got it.
So the expansion is going to bring in those characters and then 3 more scenarios you can play. There is a booklet that you go through, and only the Goondox master is able to look at that booklet because it gives their objectives and how to set up the game. And the other players don't necessarily know what the GM, the Goondox master, is trying to do.
Okay.
So only one player is going to look at that and kind of running the game and playing against the other characters. But if you are a fan of the Goonies and like the movies and the characters, this might be an interesting game for you to try out. The expansion is basically happening after the movie. So after everything is resolved in the base game, this stuff is happening after the fact. So it's not like going through the actual stages.
So knowing the movie won't help you with the expansion.
Correct.
Got it.
And I won't give too many other spoilers in case there are people who haven't watched the movie and want to and don't want to know what happens at the end.
Should you watch the movie before you play the game?
I think you would enjoy the game more if you are familiar with the movie, especially the base game, because of the characters and the inside jokes and just some of the plot of what's happening will make more sense.
Okay.
If you are familiar with the movie. All right, I'm going to get these out of the way. And really quickly, we're going to talk about Red Cathedral from De Vere. This is a Euro game. Oh, Kevin's going to help me get things out of the way.
Perfect.
So Red Cathedral is a dice action selection game, and the dice are on a circular board, kind of a rondelle.
Okay.
And you are taking actions to get resources to eventually build the Red Cathedral, the Basilica.
Is this Russia?
Yes.
Okay.
Russia. So there is an expansion, the Contractors, and the expansion is bringing, oh, let me get that better in the shot. The expansion is bringing hello Kevin, a new board. And contractors that you are sending out to do things and collect tiles. It's adding a set collection aspect to the game. It adds a little bit of complexity to the base game, but not a ton. It's basically giving you some extra choices on your turn, other ways to get points if you're not doing so well in the cathedral building aspect. And then part of the base game is a bunch of different guilds.
Ooh.
And this adds even more guilds, more complex, and those are cards that are going to give you special actions during the game. So there are tons more of those guild cards that will are those? I don't know. There's a lot of cards in here. There's a lot in this expansion. Some of it is just expanding the base game, so giving you more of the same stuff. But then there's the completely new mechanic of the Contractors board. So it does come with a whole new board that you're going to be setting up in addition to the other boards. And you're going to be sending people to this board to collect tiles that give you actions, special things, benefits, and have a set collection aspect.
That's awesome. I love set collection.
So I really enjoyed Red Cathedral. I would put it as a medium weight Euro game, dice drafting, with a really interesting way that the dice are moving around the board and giving you resources and different actions that you can do.
We definitely should play this later.
Hannah's like, I'm sold. I'll play.
Absolutely.
Yes. The scoring is a little tricky on the cathedrals, and there's a area control aspect on that.
Yes.
All right, I think we're going back to the table. I almost said couch. Will is very awesome.
It's contagious. It is contagious. All right, so we're over here at the table, and we've got a couple different things that we want to talk about as we kind of wrap up the show. We got one more announcement. Stick around. We're going to be talking about that in just a second. We'll probably head back to the couch for the final chat. But we wanted to show off two different things. One is from our sponsors. We've got The Op. If you haven't had a chance to check out their Marvel Dice Throne game, this is the, what do I got on here? I got Captain Marvel and Black Panther expansion. You might be able to see the other version back there behind Katie.
Yep,
the
we're
full
here.
game. I think, do we have a video of this on our channel? I feel like we probably do.
We have a playthrough.
Yeah, playthrough of the game, so you can check that out. What I really also want to show you is our collection of BG Shield products. Just really quickly, we enjoy the ability to party-proof our games. We enjoy the ability to play our games and not have to worry about sleeving stuff or if the little Cheeto scars get on the board. I like Cheetos. I don't like eating them while I'm playing, but with BG Shield you can do that. They've got 2 different products. They've got their Repels the Spills Save Game Night BG Shield main product, and I'll actually do that in just a second so you can see what it looks like. But you basically apply this to your boards in order to, they don't waterproof them, but they party-proof them.
Yeah.
Which is essentially waterproofing them. They keep the colors. They also don't change the colors of your board, so like they preserve it, sun protect, and all that good stuff. And then the coolest part is that they like make them water repellent. So if you have an accidental spill at game night, it's okay. We might have an accidental spill in a second, we'll see. So they've also got that, and then they have their newest product, which is this green bottle, and it is like a COVID killer, anti-bacterial application that you can spray onto your boards, and it does some cool stuff too. Also, it works on like minis and other things like that. So
things that get touched a lot in games.
Right, your dice, all those other pieces that you want to just repel all the germs so that you can keep your area clean and safe. And so I'm going to apply some of that stuff, and we'll let Katie talk about something that she's pretty excited about. These are actually pretty cool. I'm excited about these too. And I'm also going to tell you that you're supposed to wear gloves when you do this, and I can't ever find the gloves. So pretend like I'm following all the required safety hat patterns that they suggest in the game. Okay, tell them.
Okay, so these are some handmade mugs from some of our good buddies over at Hollowed Earth Pottery. They make beautiful handcrafted mugs, but Mark is also a real fan of Pathfinder and tabletop RPGs, and he has made some really fun mugs. If you can see this here, he's got one with a D20 dice on it that's available in his Etsy shop. He is not a sponsor, but he's just a good friend, and I love these mugs. These are my favorite. There's this one here. He made this one custom for Ryan. It says Game Master on it.
Actually says Dungeon Master,
Does
but equally cool.
Dungeon Master. I did have one. My daughter broke it, but it said Orc Killer on it.
Nice.
Because it went along with our campaign that we were currently playing. He does take custom orders on his Etsy site. So if you're interested in looking these up, like I said, these are they're beautifully made. They're stamped with his Hollowed Earth Pottery on the bottom, and they're nice and light, and they're wonderful to hold, and they're a lot of fun to have if you are partying, doing some tabletop gaming. Check out these really awesome mugs from Hollowed Earth Pottery. Like I said, you can find them on Etsy. If you're local to the Greenville area, he does all sorts of pop-up shops and shows and stuff. So
what does the inside of this cup look like?
It's full of your coffee.
Oh no, what a terrible accident I just caused. So the cool thing about this
that's
BG
exactly
Shield
how my kids do that.
Is that
Look at this terrible accident.
It dries super fast. So I already applied it just a little bit ago. If you want to go ahead and start wiping, we'll see what the result is. But it dries almost instantaneously when you apply it. So it only takes 30 seconds. I put one quick layer on a minute ago while we were talking.
That's a lot of coffee.
I spilled a lot. I applied it to both sides, and we'll see if it'll just drip dry for us. I have a little more down here. But it really does a fantastic job of making your boards waterproof. It also, surprisingly, doesn't leave like sticky stuff on it either, which is what I'm always impressed by when I use it.
Oh, it's not sticky after
right, like
you're done.
I expected it to feel like I still poured coffee on it, even though it didn't ruin the finish of it. You can put one more dry on there. But it because it's so repellent, it also keeps it from becoming sticky or from having residue stuff that stays on it. And it will, I put just a little bit on the edges as well, because obviously it has even less of a finish on it. And it usually, we do it quick on the show so you can see it, but I've also left it on there for a while, and it does a great job of just repelling whatever you put on it. So pretty cool stuff. You can check that out.
That's amazing. Yeah,
at thebgshield.com. Yeah, their website has. Yeah, it really does a great job. I don't know what the magical chemicals are in it, but it works great.
Not
you can check out their stuff at bgshield.com. I think they're also on the bgg.com website's store. I've actually never bought anything off the BGG store. So if you have, let me know if you can find it on there, because I don't know where it's at or how that site works, but you can definitely find it at bgshield.com. And yeah, it'll save, if you got little kids or clumsy wills in your house who accidentally spill coffee all over the place, you can definitely check that one out. All right, I think we're headed back to the couch because we have one more announcement that we got to tell you guys about. So let's head over
we
there.
can't do this announcement without you.
We can't. I'm coming.
Come on, Will.
Well, there's
Come over here.
space.
Where are you gonna be? There you
Okay.
go.
Oh, let's face on the couch? No, there's not. Look at this.
There you go.
Yeah,
sit
there's
next to
no
Kevin
screen
on the
set.
edge. There's nothing over there.
Oh, look
I'll
at all this!
I'll
Look at all this space
I'll
right here!
squeeze
Look at all this! Look at all this space right here!
No, let me just slide on over. Maybe Katie can come on over. That's fine.
Joking.
Katie,
You
tell us.
can come right
The
here.
people want to know.
good?
Katie, when do you do?
Oh, less than 2 weeks.
Less than 2 weeks, everybody. That's
Uh-oh.
crazy. Congratulations.
It
in
could
advance.
happen
I'm gonna
now.
Be here.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, I didn't think I was going to be here. We didn't plan to
You
be
were
here.
hoping, right?
We weren't planning to be here today because I was like, oh, this baby will come.
Oh,
No.
thanks for hanging out, baby. We've got one more show in. So 2 announcements. One is that myself and Sarah, wherever she went, and Jonah and Chantel are going to be at Essen, which is next week.
Yep.
I'm not
Wow.
really
Leaving Monday.
Yeah.
hopping on a plane and then a train and then a bus. This coming Monday, we're going to be going to the Essen Spiel. There she is. She's jumping in a
I'm
scooter.
literally writing scripts to shoot videos so we can leave.
We have so many things to do before we're allowed to leave this house. So that's very exciting. We're going to be working with Genius Games. They are paying for our airfare and getting us over there. It's going to be a really great time, and very much looking forward to seeing all the amazing games that are on Kevin's and Melissa's games to look at Essen. If you haven't watched that video yet,
40
So
games.
you're bringing them back, right? In your
we're
suitcase?
trying.
All
So many
of them.
games on that
Look,
list.
it's only a 40-minute video. Come on.
Every game in the video.
One game per minute. We'll see if we can fit them in the suitcase. We're going to go try to bring as much back as we can. We'll probably also try to do some like Facebook Lives and stuff, so keep an eye out next week
Wow.
because we would love
Ambitious.
to hang out and say hi and show off the cool
Yeah.
stuff that we got going on. So it should be a good time. The other big announcement that we're finally making and that we're very excited about is TantrumCon is on. We finally locked in dates. We were able to negotiate the contract. We're going to be back at the Hilton Charlotte Airport Hotel
In North Carolina.
place. Yeah, in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can go to TantrumCon.com right now. Badges are on sale now. We did a quick silent early test release last night. There's already
For
a
it to
bunch
be a
of badges
silent
gone.
release. Yeah.
Those premium badges are going fast.
Yes.
Absolutely.
If you hope to get one of those, you might as well just go on over there 10 minutes ago before I made this announcement. TantrumCon.com will have a bunch of the instructions and information and different things that are going on. We're going to be adding to that site over the course of time. But
Matt's already got the days off for TantrumCon.
way to go.
That's
Did I say
right.
the dates yet? Because I don't know.
No,
if they
you
are.
haven't said the date. No.
February
It's
24 to
26.
26.
I think it's actually the same weekend as
Same
last
weekend.
year.
It's the same
right?
weekend.
Last weekend in February, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so
Correct.
slightly adjust that schedule just a little bit. We weren't able to get the hotel on Thursday night, which we're all
You
sad
can still
about.
come Thursday night.
Maybe you could come Thursday
Yeah.
night. Come check in Thursday night, and we'll do midnight gaming once we get.
Oh, there we go.
We're
We'll
not
be sweating
promising
and
We're not
anything.
That is
promising.
not an
hang
official
out in the
event.
lounge,
Totally
bring
promising.
the games to the hotel. You have like a pre-con.
Monica, he's not promising anything.
It's a late check-in for us to be able to get set up, but we are going to get it done fast, and we'll be
Yep.
ready for you guys for sure. Check-in will be Friday morning, and 3 fantastic days of TantrumCon stuff. So we are already looking forward to that.
Absolutely.
It's going to be so great. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this morning's show. Hang around in the comments if you want to, and let us know what your thoughts are on TantrumCon. Go
And-
check out the website.
We'll talk about Andor.
Yeah, what is
What?
it?
Oh, we'll do that
And
podcast.
Oh,
Podcast.
podcast. Listen to
Okay.
the podcast. We'll talk about some other great stuff. All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.